Hey there, my name is Johan, and I'm here to tell you about a Canadian delicacy that was invented in the 1950s, which took the world by storm. Welcome to the first episode of the Poutine miniseries. We're talking about poutine, or poutine, or Putin, which is actually really easy to confuse. In France, if you say his name the way it's spelt, it translates to something a little lewd. How can I put this delicately? A lady of the night? Someone who turns tricks?
Looking for a good time, honey?
But hey, maybe if Putin had a poutine, he'd chill out a little bit. Look, here's the thing. People associate Canada with poutine, but it doesn't mean just because you cross the border into Canada, you're guaranteed an amazing saucy poutine. Trust me, I've been all across the country and not every poutine is created equal. However, there is a land vast and wide, which I call the Poutine Promised Land. So stick around to find out where that is and why you should try out poutine. I recently did a poll on my channel and 1 in 5 people had no idea what poutine was, and that really shocked me, so I feel like it's my duty to bring light to the situation. You might be wondering why a guy on a barbecue channel is talking about poutine, but don't worry. Later in this mini-series, I'm gonna have a different episode which will have a pulled pork poutine and a pulled beef poutine, which took hours and hours on the smoker to make. First things first, let's talk about what poutine actually is, and it's really straightforward. You got some fries, you got some cheese, you got some gravy, you put that in a bowl, and you got poutine. Now, you might have seen some recipes on YouTube on how to make your own, but not everyone's giving you all the right information. Even the mighty Babish did a video on his mini-series called Botched with Babish about his first poutine episode, which wasn't really the best one.
Time to tear off little chunks of mozzarella and roll them into balls because we couldn't find cheese curds.
Not real cheese curds, and Maddie Matheson gave him a couple of pointers. So where did poutine come from? It's actually not that straightforward. There is no one place. There's a couple of places that claim they invented poutine, but from what we know, it started in rural Quebec in the 1950s. Folks around those parts fell in love with that mix of cheesy, saucy, gravy fries, and they couldn't get enough of it. It became a staple on the menu. Poutine has a vibe that you probably shouldn't eat it all the time because it is a pretty rich meal, but when you do, it's a treat to yourself, and that makes every poutine moment a special one. Or you can just throw caution for your health to the wind and eat poutine every day. You know, you do you, whatever.
We're going over the border to Canada for some French fries and gravy, sir.
Like I was saying earlier, great poutine isn't just guaranteed all across Canada. Like, you can't just pull up from Montana into Saskatchewan and hope for an amazing saucy poutine. It probably would have shredded mozzarella or cheddar cheese on it, which is a big no-no. You need those curds. But hey, if you live in Saskatchewan and you know about an amazing poutine I don't know about, put it down in the comments, please. So you guessed it, the Poutine Promised Land is in Quebec, where it was invented in the 1950s. Pretty much any place that cooks burgers over there can serve you up a nice saucy poutine. Yes, of course, if you find yourself in Montreal, there's a bunch of amazing places to go eat poutine, and even some commercial chains like La Belle Province, which is kind of like the McDonald's of Quebec greasy food. On the other end of the spectrum, you could also go to an upper class establishment like Au Pied de Cochon, where you can get a foie gras poutine, which will run you $35, plus the highest sales tax in all of Canada, and a tip. That's a $40 poutine there, bud. But take this advice, please. The hidden gems in small towns are the spots to go. They'll always blow you away. They always have huge portions, the prices are always low, and they always have that authentic vibe like that's the way it's been done for the last 50 years. A beautiful and sad example is Au Pignon Vert in La Chute, Quebec. Just check this place out. The A-frame roof with all the green on it, it just looks like it's frozen in time. And the poutine that this place cranked out was art and beauty. But it just goes to show you, you need to support your local people that put their heart and soul into the passion of cooking food for you. All they want to do is put a smile on your face, so go pick up some of their food. But check it out, as long as you know about these top 3 things you should look out for, you can pretty much get a good poutine anywhere, or you could even make your own. This is what you got to look out for. It's not complicated, it's really straightforward. Check it out. Number 1, you need brown fries that are not too crispy and not too soft. Now, a lot of these people in these YouTube videos who teach you how to make poutine don't talk about the oil. You need peanut oil if you want an authentic poutine, or at least an authentic French fry for your poutine. Number 2, I want a nice thick brown gravy that has had the time to reduce. I don't want no thin stuff that'll just run its way all the way down to the bottom. It won't stick to the fries, and when you're done your poutine, you just have like the soupy broth at the bottom. Okay, this one might be a little tough to get. Number 3 is the cheese curds. The cheese curds have to be squeaky. You can't just cube a block of cheddar and call it a day. You kind of want a sweaty cheese curd. If you're successful, when you get that warm, cheesy, gravy-lined fry of comfort into your mouth, you know everything's gonna be okay. Shh, eat your poutine. It's gonna be okay. If you haven't had a poutine before, I highly recommend that you go out there and make this your next fantasy meal come true. And if you have had a poutine before, well, I challenge you to make your own. To begin the mini-series, we're gonna have to start at the bottom, and I mean the bottom. There's a couple of trash poutines out there that we have to get through before we get to those good ones I was talking about. Look, don't get me wrong, I love poutine. I'll eat any poutine, but fast food chains tend to try a little too hard and then screw it all up in the name of profits. I found this KFC commercial that apparently has the hack to Canadian poutine. Take a look for yourself. I don't think I would call that poutine. You be the judge. Ew. It made me feel like I was imploding slowly on the inside a little bit. I think you know where we're going with this. We're gonna start off real basic, and the next episode in the mini-series is gonna be the top 5 fast food poutines you can get out there. So the next time you're craving poutine and you're in a pinch and all you have is fast food choices, I'm gonna help you figure out which one's the right one to get between McDonald's, Burger King, A&W, KFC, and Wendy's. That way you don't have to try a bunch of salty fast food poutines to decide which one's the best. I'll help you out. That's it for today's video. I hope you learned something new about poutine, and I look forward to continuing this poutine mini-series with you on the other side. If you like delicious little adventures, make sure you subscribe.